Welcome to State Scoop TV. We are here on day 2 of the NASCIO Midyear Conference in Crystal City, Virginia. I'm with Ed Toner. He's the CIO for the state of Nebraska. Ed, how you doing?
Very good, Jake. How are you?
I'm good. So here at NASCIO, we spend a lot of time talking about priorities, and we spend a lot of time talking about what you're going to be focused on for the year ahead. And so what are your main priorities and focuses for the year ahead in Nebraska, and how have they changed over the last year?
Great question. I think everybody knows we're focusing on consolidation, and that has gone extremely well. I've got a talented team that has, we're in the end game now. We're at the final stretch. We're moving about 6,000 square feet of servers into our 2 data centers. That is really our big project focus. But to tell you the truth, the other focus that really doesn't get any attention, probably because it's not a flashy thing, is we're really focusing on ITIL standards, so Information Technology Infrastructure Library, and specifically ITSM, so service management. We now are propagating the same service manager tool throughout all the agencies, so we all can talk the same language. We weren't, in the past, we were using 5 to 7 different tools. They couldn't talk to each other. We'd have an incident and we'd have to cut and paste it, email it to the other team so they can cut and paste it, put it into their tool. So obviously that was not an efficient process. We have full incident management processes in place, service requests in place. We've got a problem management process in place. We have change management processes in place. We really are focusing on, at the same time, basics. We have a PMO office in place. We have all those verticals that ITIL is asking, is saying is best practice, and we're putting them to work, and they're actually working well. And the team has really adopted it. I don't know how many times that the change manager has come in and said, again, we had a meeting, and they were really understanding why we're doing this, right? So we're putting in processes and procedures that we're just lacking.
So that was a really great overview of the consolidation efforts that you guys have going on. Tell me about the way that you've planned and visioned for that. I mean, how about that enterprise visioning process, and what has that enabled you to do for some of these big projects?
Yeah, I was really fortunate to have multiple avenues. Of course, we publish through what's called the NITC, the Nebraska IT Commission. We publish an 18-month roadmap. The beauty of that is the governor really put me in a great spot. He made me the chair of that committee. And that committee consists of K through 12 representation, so superintendents from the K through 12 space. We've got CIOs from the universities. We've got broadband representation. We've got private industry representation. We have legislative representation, and they are always great and supportive. And of course, that's a great place to really let them know what we're doing, and they can talk to the legislature. Through that, we also have 5 subcommittees, and one of the I'm on all of them. I chair 2 of them, and the one that really helps me out is the governance committee. So whenever we come up with new policies, procedures, and of course we have that with ITIL, which I just mentioned, ITSM, security, all of the consolidation, the changes that we're making, we put that through the governance committee. And the governance committee consists of all agencies across the state. So that's cabinet agencies and non-cabinet. So Secretary of State always sends a representation, Treasurer's Office, things of that sort. So the word gets out that way. We also publish a frequently asked questions post. Of course, I blog, right?
Yeah.
In the last 2 years, I've got the top 30 and top 50 blogs to read. I blog about everything that just kind of comes to my mind, I guess because I commute from Lincoln to Omaha. So I have a lot to think about. We also do videos. We just started that. I think the millennials, I have a public information officer, she is a millennial, and she convinced me that, maybe you ought to start doing video more. So we video a lot of things, and we tell people what we're doing, and we usually try to do like a 4-minute blast, kind of like this.
Yeah.
Get the information out there to people. So we've used every type of format we can. Of course, we use, we have our own Facebook page and things of that sort, the traditional. And we put those videos out there, and not only does the state employee get to see what we're doing, but the citizens of Nebraska get to see what we're doing and why we're doing it. So I get a lot of people that friends of mine or whatever that have friended our page, and they know exactly what I'm doing before I get to a party or something. So I have a lot to answer to if I'm doing something they don't like.
Go to a party, they say, how's that consolidation going?
Exactly. How's that going to cost me money, right? And I assure them it's actually lowering their the cost.
So at conferences like these, we use a lot of buzzwords. You know, we talk about innovation, we talk about all kinds of these things. What's the biggest buzzword that you find yourself getting tired of, and how are you channeling the ideas that represents into some action in Nebraska?
Yeah, I think my team right now is laughing that you asked me that question. Modernization. It's overused and not understood. You know, in private industry, which, you know, I've spent my career in private industry, you know, you don't walk into the CEO and say, I want to change the application. Oh, I need a new application. Why? Because it's not working. What value is that adding to the shareholder? What value is that adding to our customer? Nothing. Make what you have work. You know, I see too many times that people are running from a problem, and a problem they created. They created through lack of process. They created through lack of maintenance. They haven't maintained patches. They've over-customized the app. They don't understand the app. And it just is one of those things that I challenge all my peers and say, exactly what are you trying to fix? Well, you know, it's outdated, you know, all those things I just mentioned. And I go, okay, but when we spend this money, what are the citizens of Nebraska going to get? Are they going to get more functionality with the new tool? And usually I get met with blank stares. So then why are we doing it? Why are we spending money if we're not going to get better functionality? And by the way, couldn't we enhance the functionality of the tool we have at a much lower cost and benefit the citizens of Nebraska? And so every time that I'm always on a tech panel also, which is one of the NITC subcommittees, and it's run by a very good, very, very seasoned CIO from University of Nebraska, and he and I have the same philosophy. When people come to us, it's tell me what problem are you trying to solve, and how is this going to enhance the experience for the citizens of Nebraska? And if they don't have a good answer to that, it's a pretty rough road from there.
And yeah, that's really interesting. And I think that one of the things that I noticed with you, and I know about you, is among the consolidation, and from that great video that you guys did about the consolidation, I know how much that involved collaboration, right? And how much you had to talk to other agency heads and get them on board and get them, you know knowledge about what's happening in the state. How are you working more to collaborate outside the boundaries of your agency to solve some of the problems that you guys are facing, and what have the challenges been that have come along with that collaboration?
You know, we meet regularly, and all of those avenues that I talked about earlier, right? The videos we're doing and things like that, people are actually watching those. And I'm really been surprised that things have turned in that they're approaching us. Now that the word is out about what we're doing, of course we publish our rate sheets, people can see exactly what will it cost to move into our data centers. They see the redundancy that we can provide them, the availability we can provide them. We have, like the city of Lincoln, moved into our data center. The counties are now saying, we took all the county infrastructure that actually was owned by the state, and then after we did that, it worked so well. Now we're getting counties coming to us and saying, you know, why don't you just take everything we have? And so even this weekend, we just moved a county into our data center, and we're going to manage their servers. We have 10 more lined up that want to talk to us about it. So really it's word of mouth. The same thing with, I actually run the state radio system. That's the land mobile radio for patrol. The city of Lincoln is coming on to our cores.
Wow.
It's a cheaper option for them. They had one, we have two. And essentially we said, well, you can just come on for free, allow us to use your towers, you can use our cores. It's a great deal for both. It's a win-win. I'm in final negotiations with Douglas County, the city of Omaha, to do the same.
Wow.
So we're consolidating in ways that I never thought we would. And the great thing there is that's a public safety win. When a patrolman comes into the city of Lincoln and into Omaha once we get this wrapped up. It'll be seamless to them. They'll go into buildings, and because the tower density is so high in those areas, they won't lose reception, right? Because we really focus on outside the big cities. The cities have a density of towers. It's a win-win. We give them redundancy in the cores. We get the tower usage. So money's not being exchanged. We're just bartering services, and it's a great deal for all. So really, I stumbled into a lot of things that have just really come into our lap.
Yeah.
GIS is a great example. We wanted to consolidate GIS. We did it in an afternoon. We were just talking to the right people, said, hey, I really one day want to do this. Hey, why don't we just do it?
Wow.
So it's done.
Wow.
Things like that, it's like the momentum has just taken on all by itself. And tell you the honest truth, my team is just overloaded with work, which was great that we did the consolidation because I needed all the extra bodies. And we got a lot of great talent out of that consolidation.
Yeah. So we've talked about modernization, we've talked about consolidation, and I think one of the things that a lot of people in this space talk about with those two things is emerging technology, because both of those things, to a degree, open it up so that you can embrace emerging technology. How is emerging technology changing the way that your state is solving problems and delivering services?
Of course, we've used emerging technology to actually do our data center strategy. Without naming vendors, we have used some of the latest technology to keep our data in sync. At all times, the data in Omaha, Nebraska data center and Lincoln data center is 100% synced, so that when we fail over, there's no data loss. So our recovery point is 0. We have no data loss. Our recovery time, great example. We had an issue, we didn't know exactly what was causing the issue, so they failed over. That gave them time then to troubleshoot, and I got an email that said, yep, the total failover took 5 seconds. Wow. And we had no data loss and no calls at the service desk, so no one even knew it. Then the team was able to sit back, diagnose the problem, and really figure out what went wrong, and not be in that panic mode of we're having troubles. Wasn't that big of a problem, but when you can make the flip, why not? And so they've exercised it, and this is the thing we talked about earlier with eliminating a data center. A data center that had really DR only in it, and being able to exercise that second data center. We really know it's going to work, and we're doing it routinely now. So that is the biggest emerging technology. The technologies that allow us to do that. I really think, though, that I'm a late adopter. I like to have proven results before we ever put it in. So, I mean, they had to pry BlackBerry out of my cold dead hands. I am. If it works, it works. And maybe that goes back to my modernization question. Tell me what I'm getting more out of this before I spend money on it. I'm not out for the big shiny object. I want to get what we have. I want to use it fully. I want to use every tool we own. I want to max out the tools. I don't want to buy anything that I own. I don't want to buy anything that even has a little bit of overlap with what I own. I'll wait and flesh out the market, make sure I find out who the best players are, and then we'll dive into it. So I'm not really cutting edge. However, we're doing things that are cutting edge, which is basic, old, good common sense.
Well, Ed, thank you so much. Look
Thank
forward to
you.
hearing more about how all this comes out. This is really cool. Exciting
Always
stuff.
enjoy talking with you.
Always enjoy talking to you. For more about what Ed Toner is up to in Nebraska, check out statescoop.com. Again, I'm here with Ed Toner. He's the CIO of Nebraska. I'm Jake Williams, StateScoop's Manager of Strategic Initiatives. Thanks for watching.